Well, good evening, guys. Hello, hello, hello. I am so grateful you are here. Y'all, it's so you want to start a business part two. The first part was absolutely amazing. So we said we got to bring it back again. And I'm really excited that we have a special guest with us on tonight. But before we get into our special guest, y'all know the NexGen team, they are family. So we want everyone to be able to say hello and say good evening to you. Make sure you are sharing, and as well as subscribe to the Next Gen channel because why not? It's generational wealth. You got to know about it. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Make sure you send this link to a friend. But we're going to go ahead and get into the conversation. But before we do, we're going to say hello. So to my amazing, well, my right, but to the left on tonight, we have Mr. Damon. Go ahead and say hello to the people.
Hey, how everybody doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Damon Holland coming to you from Charleston, South Carolina.
Awesome. Then next we have my girl Danielle on here tonight. Say good evening to the people.
Hi, everybody. It's Danielle Porter from San Antonio, Texas.
Awesome. Then we have, I call her the seasoned with grace caller, Auntie of Next Gen. Auntie, can you tell the people good evening?
Hey everybody, I am so excited. Dana Long from the DMV.
I love it. And I am Ariel, also from the DMV. I'm super excited to be with you guys on tonight with my Next Gen family. Well, I'm really pumped. I'm pumped. Everybody's been pumped. It's going to be so good. We have Mr. Lee here on tonight. He is our very special guest. And so I'm just going to take a second. We're going to get into an amazing conversation on tonight about business. But I just want to read you a little bit about his bio, y'all, and then we're going to jump in on the conversation. So, Mr. Lee is a native of Charleston, South Carolina, and excited about it. He is turning 65 on September the 6th. Happy early birthday, Mr. Lee. He is a retired U.S. Air Force in 1994, 27 years ago. And so, as a 21st century thinker and continuously seeking to learn something that will empower many more in our community and society as a whole. All authentic, all ethnic, backgrounds, business development consultant, and a business strategist. He sits at the table with small and growing companies like Google, Starbucks, Boeing, Comcast, Blackbaud, and many others, including the veteran organizations. Married, 3 children, and 4 grandchildren. NexGen is excited to be able to welcome Mr. Lee to the channel. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to all of you.
We are so grateful that you are here with us. It's going to be a great conversation. So we have some lineup of questions that we want to be able to ask you. You have an amazing resume, might I add. And so why not? I think we're going to get some amazing information on tonight. So let's jump into this. I would like to know, and Danielle over on the other side, she's going to be my wing girl on tonight. We're going to be tag teaming and asking you some awesome questions. So first, I want to know, what made you start your own business, Mr. Lee?
The thing that motivated me to start my own business was that I wanted to be controlled in my own destiny, what I wanted to achieve in life, and where did I go in life. Those are things that I want to be able to do myself. And we're seeing that play out in society right now by a large part. When you look at the devastation that has happened to Louisiana and other states, the individuals who are most impacted are employees, not as much as business owners. So that's where we want to use as a motivation now. What are we doing differently? Like a friend of mine, my book back here said, what happened in 2020? A colleague of mine, she wrote that book. And so we're looking at what happens in 2021 to motivate the younger generation to do something different than, unfortunately, that impacted the quality of life for individuals in New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole.
That is some great information, and our hearts go out to all that are being affected by this devastation that's happening. Our prayers and our hearts go out to them. Definitely, sir, I want to know, how long have you been in this line of work as a business major? It made my ears perk up to be like, oh man, this is cool. So I would love to know, how long have you been in this line of work?
It's different businesses that I run. I've been on the academic level for the past 20 years, working at two of the largest universities in South Carolina, at the Medical University of South Carolina and the University of South Carolina, as a consultant, building relationships with the faith leaders, politicians, business owners, and the average citizen. And so then I made a pivot to start doing business development with the chef that you see back here. She was brought to my attention about 10 years ago, and we moved her from being a regular cook that people recognized her as a top chef. And now she is the president of the American Culinary Federation, which she is the first woman that's been there in 92 years.
Wow. Wow. Oh, this is so going to be so good. Oh, I hope y'all have shared. Oh, this is going to be so good. I love it. OMG. Okay, Danielle, I want you to take these next two questions away. I'm over here bubbling with excitement. Okay. I'm like, how can I be on Mr. Lee team? Okay.
Well, my question is, what is a connector, and why should I, and who should I connect with?
A connector is one that builds or establishes relationships before you need them. And you don't, and that's of all ethnic backgrounds, that's of all occupations, because you want to have a seat at the table, whatever discussion is going on. And you want to make the determination whether that's a good seat for you to be at or not. Tomorrow, I am going to a cybersecurity summit. I barely know how to turn on a computer. But I will be at a cybersecurity summit tomorrow to establish some new relationships that I may not, I don't have knowledge of yet, but they may need my expertise in business development and establishing relationships with individuals in different occupations that they're not familiar with.
Wow, that's incredible. So that way you're still bringing your skill set to a team where you don't know, where you can as well as learn something from them, and they can learn something from you. So it's best to utilize your skills. Yes. So that's also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
One thing that I would like to add to that, so often you hear the term thrown around, we don't have a seat at the table, we don't have a seat at the table, be it black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or whatever. Well, people don't have a seat at the table because they don't bring themselves to the table. I mean, I saw the cybersecurity summit thing pop up in my email. I made the determination that I want to attend. People make that determination each day when you see something, whether you put yourself at the table or not.
And that's an excellent point. Seeing opportunities, even opportunities you may not be familiar with, or like, I'm not quite sure. Hey, just take the opportunity so that way you can be sitting at the table, see what's out there, because you never know who you can meet and how you can help somebody as well as they can help you. So that's very important to not just think, well, I don't know, I shouldn't go. Well, actually, everybody has skills. Everybody has something they can bring to the table. But more importantly, if you see something, go out there and just see what's out there. So that's definitely an excellent point. My next question is, what type of people do you work with?
What type of people do I work with?
Yes.
I only work with people who have good credibility and integrity. I never compromise. And There's a thing that says you have to build trust. Well, I think people have their word trust inverted. It should be establish a relationship first, then that moves into trust. Now, if someone comes to me, I can tell to a degree whether this person is someone I want to be associated with or not, because I'm going to trust them until they prove differently. But if something about their personality, their character that may not hit my spirit right, then it's nothing for me or that person to be engaged in.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Quick question for you,
And
Mr. Moultrie. You said you connect with politicians also. So my question is, do you think politicians can still relate to small business owners?
Politicians have the responsibility to address the need of all of their constituents, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or Libertarian. If that elected official is within your zip code for your business and our home, they don't have a choice whether they respond to you or not. That is your job to give them, ask them whatever's need to be done. He or she will address your issue. Or they should do that.
Should, yeah.
They should do that. And if they don't do that, then you have the responsibility to make sure that the other business owners and constituents know that this elected official is not addressing your issues as a business owner. I think we have to understand, how do you leverage power? You as a business owner, you have power. And you have to remember that now, but you have to change the mindset that you bring to the table as a business owner. You're not an employee. You don't work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Being a business owner, that's a 24/7, 365 business. Because you're fighting for your freedom and you're fighting for the freedom of your family, friends, and associates. And there's a greater obligation placed upon you for that level of responsibility. When you look at the devastation that happened in Louisiana and other parts of the world, the first person that are let back into the community or that city or state is the business owner. That's it.
That's wow. That was thank you for jumping in, Damon. That was a very, very good question. That was very good. And just in tying this in, Mr. Lee, you talked about those that have integrity, those that have character are the persons that you work with. So with knowing that, do you work with the team and having those people that you have integrity and know their character, know that they have, a good representation of, what you want or desire? If you do work with the team, what are their roles within the team you have?
Our goal is to empower each other, work, align ourselves with each other, and economically work to do different things in the community and society as a whole. And as I say that, when I talk about business, we're talking about 5 different levels. You're talking about your local community. You're talking about your regional community. You're looking at your state. Then you're looking at nationally throughout the United States and internationally, globally. So we're looking at all of these things. How do we all work together to achieve these goals? And that's the main thing that we're looking at. Someone else may have some expertise in real estate that I don't, but I may bring some certifications and licensing to the table that may help us achieve a certain goal. So that's what a teamwork is all about.
Mm. That's good. That's so good. These are so many good nuggets. I hope if you guys are in business like I am, you're taking all good notes. I'm going to be watching the replay because I'm like, oh, this is so, so good. I want to know, sir, are you working on any new projects? I mean, you are. You don't look 65, so that's the first thing. But I'm like, you are moving and shaking and making moves. What projects are you working on?
Well, a lot of things that I do is really quietly.
Ah, okay.
It's not for public dissemination.
Okay.
But the thing we're working on a multi-million-dollar project housing to do some things. Um, we're aligning. Have you ever heard of the term whale hunter?
Sounds familiar.
A whale hunter, WHALE.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people go out there fishing. They want to go pick up a little of this, a little of that, a little minnow. Ain't got no time for that. I'm a whale hunter. That's
Okay.
why. That's why I sit to the table with Google, Blackbot, Starbucks. Those are whales. Now, how do you align yourself with people like that so when the opportunity comes? Now, understand when I sit to the table, I'm not sitting to the table only for me. I'm sitting
Mm-hmm.
to the table for Ariel, Danielle, Dana, Damon, and other business associates because whatever may come across the table, I may not be able to use at that time, but I may be able to pass to the next person, or I might be able to bring them to the table. So it's not about self-interest. It's not about what's in it for me. It's what is it in for those that I am associated with in one aspect or another.
That's good. That's good, sir. That's that's so good. I think this next question will be able to help us out, Danielle. Go ahead and ask us silly that next question. It ties in perfectly, right?
Yes. What advice do you have for those who want to start their own business?
That's a good question. Um, I just met a young lady last week Friday. For the military, we have to get new ID cards and we get certain agencies. Um, Damon has a long time for his to get like that. Um, but the young lady was telling me that she saw my business card. She said, "Oh, you business development. You want to talk to me?" She said she wanted to open up a business and become a vet of help animals. What's that called again? Veterinarian.
Veterinarian.
And so we talked a few more minutes, and then yeah, and I said, that's a very high. She said, I said, well, that's a very high suicide rate. She said, yeah, I realize that. And then I said, well, why would you want to go into a occupation when you know it's a high suicide rate? So my thing would be, as you're asking, what advice would I have for someone wanting to go into business? Then I would ask them to search the market, society. What does the market need? I mean, you can have the greatest passion in the world to be a veterinarian, to be a TV repair person, or to be a car repair person. But does the market need that now? Or where we at in the 21st century, does the market need that? If the market doesn't need that, why would you go in that business? So seek out, well, if you're looking at the financial channels and to see what's going on there, what is trading? Um, One of the books that I read, it talks about technology and the threat of a jobless future. And people say, well, there'll never be a time that is not a jobless future. I said, well, it happened March 2020 last year. They told everyone, go home, work from home. If you had an occupation that you could not work from home, you did not have a job. So that means we should be looking at things that are e-commerce to a degree. You look at everyone, unfortunately, that left Louisiana and all along that line. Whatever business they had, they can't function for the next 2 months. So that right there is a sign for us to look at businesses that are portable, mobile, that we can function anywhere in the world should we have to relocate. Those are telling signs. Those are not just isolated to one thing. You may get in the DMV, you may get an ice storm might happen up there. I don't know what the weather is like that in Texas. Well, we know what happened in Texas last year. Oh, God. I'm surprised you're still there. I'll give you my passport. You can leave there with that crazy man you got there. But you want to make sure that the business that you have, that you is mobile, no matter where you're at in the world, that you can operate your business. I don't care if you're doing hair, you're doing cars or whatever. But if they, from the moment they tell you you got to leave your present location, you want to make sure that whatever business that is, you can function in the next place you're at.
And that's definitely an excellent point. To also, as you're trying to scale your business, to make sure you know what, pay attention to see what's coming along, and as well as be able to pivot. Things change constantly. And as we're moving forward into the future with more automation and technology, how can I pivot? How can I change? It's always never certain things. I think the old system of want to do something for 30 plus years has been gone. You have to be able to pivot and change and have the foresight and constantly learn, grow, and relearn again. I mean, so we're definitely living in times where things are just going so fast and changing constantly, and you have to be flexible to that. So my next question is, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh, Lord Jesus. That's a very profound question. I'm writing a book now on recovery, because when I was younger, I experimented with drugs and alcohol. So that would be my one thing there. Drugs, alcohol, because I'm writing a book on that for young people not to be engaged in that. And then to be more, what would be the thing, committed to the business. You have to be so hardcore and understand the premise of delayed gratification. You cannot be out hanging out with your friends for happy hour on Friday or whatever day after work, and then on the weekend doing this. The chef up here, who is now the president of the organization, years ago I got her engaged in Toastmasters. That's a professional speaking organization if someone is not familiar with it. Our Toastmasters that we attended was Friday nights, and it was from 7 to 8 p.m. So we would have to get down there like 6:30, do a little snack, then go in there and do it. So we did that for about 2 years. So now we are reaping the benefits of that, but those are the things that we have to do. Again, being more committed to it, understanding, and also reinvesting in your business. Don't be spending money on stuff in the malls, going to all these nice restaurants and things of that nature right there. Delayed gratification, because once you get to a certain time point, you can't turn that time back. So you have to be reinvesting in your business, reinvesting in transforming your brain to be able to function in the business arena. And as you're functioning in that business arena, you're able to communicate effectively with the people. When I was mentoring some young guys, young ladies, at the community level, and then they realized that I was sitting with individuals from Google and Boeing and all these other companies. They said, "Well, what do they talk about?" I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, what do they talk about?" I said, "They talk about regular stuff. They talk about regular things that everybody talk about." They're thinking that these guys are so much there. Well, they may be. I mean, I'm just a little different. But they're communicating about things that are happening in different arenas. And so we have to make sure we're prepared to do that. We have to make sure that we're looking at the programs that the general population and business arena is communicating with. And that's a couple of things there.
Very, very, very good. Before I get to our last two questions, Damon or Auntie Dana, did you guys have any questions? Think of anything else that you might have wanted to ask Mr. Lee before I continue?
No, this is good stuff. Thank you.
Awesome.
Absolutely, same here. I don't have anything. Pretty much as you go along, you're kind of hitting everything that I was thinking about anyway. So it's kind of tied all tied in and going perfect.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So, Mr. Lee, I'm like, I need another. I'm like, wait a minute. The time is coming. We're winding down. I need a whole another hour, a couple days with Mr. Lee. Okay, all this good information. Before I ask you of how people can be able to contact you, I'm going to be able to ask you that you've shared so many nuggets and so many wisdom keys, as I say, to be able to help someone that wants to start a business or is in a business and knowing their craft and developing themselves by, sitting yourself at that table that you're supposed to be at. What would you say as a millennial? We have some type of business on this screen. And so is there something that you could encourage the NexGen fam as we are continuing to grow within our business? You've given us so many different moments, but is there one thing that you would share with us? Maybe one quote, maybe one experience that has happened to you that you say, hey, I don't want you to have to experience this. I've already gone through it, so now I want you to be better than I am. What's that one thing that you can be able to share with us to say, hey, I want to encourage you guys?
Well, everything I've talked about is that. My favorite quote is on the tagline of my email. There's two quotes I want to give you.
Okay.
One is discovery consists of seeing what everyone has seen, but thinking what no one has thought.
Wow.
And another one I learned years ago is talking about opportunity, as Danielle was speaking about. So often, as you're saying, millennials and different generations, when I'm saying, even with me being 64, soon to be 65, there are people my age that are still in the 20th century thinking. That's why I said that I'm a 21st century thinker. Okay. So we want to make sure that as you millennials and of all ages, people of all ages, are reading up-to-date 21st century books of the business arena. We must do that. And then one of the quotes that I remember, it says, the window of opportunity opens and closes slowly each day. Now, it's whether you realize that and take advantage of that opportunity makes a difference. And see, sometime, as I won I was honored to be nominated and was awarded the Business of the Month for the city of Charleston. And as me working with the chef right there, and my other business associate that did her journal and her book for 2020, when you see that, then I would ask someone what happened in 2020. Then I would say, how many people are familiar with her when she wrote that book that said what happened in 2020? How many people bought that book? How many people went up to her and say, can I have a conversation with you and find out how did you do this for 2020? And how can I do this for 2021 or 2022? Those are opportunities. People are giving you signs and giving us signs, but are we adhering to those signs?
Mm.
And one of the things, as you would say with the scripture, we just shake our head and keep on going because we realize you didn't understand the opportunity that I gave you.
Wow. 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 OMG. Oh goodness. This is so good. David, you said you had another question.
Yes. So let's say I just filed for my EIN number as a to start our own business. Also went through the state, got registered with the state, got a business account, got all that good stuff going. Now I want to get out there and network and promote my business with something locally. Where can I go locally? Not just me, but anybody. Go locally to get your business name out to start networking within the community.
Oh, that's a layup right there. I don't know that much about sports, but that's a layup right there.
That's an assist. See how I set that up?
That is so profound right there, because of the fact what you just asked is, I am a business owner. Why should I stand by myself? Who else is trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do? So then you would look for your local chamber of commerce. Whatever city or state you're in, your local city chamber of commerce, and align yourselves with those individuals that are all business owners. So they're working in your best interest as you're working in their best interest. That's a team right there. You're paying XYZ dollars to be a member of that club, and they're there to help you. They're not going to try to hurt you. They're going to try to help you. I'm a part of a chamber of commerce here, a local chamber of commerce. We have a luncheon next week, September the 7th. But I'm also part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is the big boys. And then I'm a part of the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. So I want to make sure I'm sitting at the table. And that what I'm saying when I say I'm sitting there, those are tables that you should thrive to be at also, because all of those different tables have different information and resources that you can use for your network. When you look at television is not entertainment only. Well, it can be entertainment for you based on what you're looking at. But if you see a commercial and it says, what is the one? CTI Bank, and it says CTI Bank Impact. Well, it's telling you that they gave funding to this company through the Impact Fund. So they're telling you to go to their website to get the information on how you can use that information also. So we have to learn when people are speaking in code. Now, remember, commercials, and also something that Damon asked there is my favorite one, is our local newspaper. How many business owners use the local newspaper, their local newspaper? It is free. Monthly is free. Now you say, wait a minute, it's not free. Yes, it is free. My paper come to my door, my porch, what was it, the driveway, every morning for $40. Now, so my paper come every morning for $40, 30 days in a month. I did the number for Damon, 30 days in a month. So I divide that 30 by 40. That's $1.33 per day. Now, what's the value of that information? On Sunday, now you're a business owner. When they're talking about issues relative to the local community, they're putting it in the local newspaper. They're not going to come knock on your door. And then you're going to say, they don't tell us anything. Listen, no, we put it in the newspaper. We have a distribution of 90,000 per day. So that's where your information is at, your local news. What is happening in your local news? You have to be engaged in all these different things to find out what's going on for you as a business owner in your local community. Make those people provide you the resources and information for you to be successful. Also, don't get restricted to your local community too. That's the starting point. But look at 3 to 4 hours away from you that you may do some event in another place that the Small Business Administration is doing. As a new business owner, you want to sign up with the Small Business Administration. And they'll tell you different events that's going on in different areas that you can go down there and establish relationships someplace else, be it in Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth. Just don't go on 9th Ward, stay away from 9th Ward. But then you can also go over there to DMV, where they're saying it's in 30, 90 minutes away. Why? You don't want to compartmentalize yourself to one area. You want to expand yourself. Build your network out before you have to do it. These are all little things. And I ran into some nice young people this weekend. And I asked them for a business card. And they said they didn't have business cards. They said, you can use your QR card. You can use this QR code, sir. Put it on your phone. I said, like, it doesn't pick up. Well, no, we can make it come up. It didn't come up. I said, I'm showing you a fallacy in which you thought was cute. I said, you have to have business cards for those that may not have the capability of receiving that information. You see what I'm saying? And then I run into other young people that tell me, oh, we don't do business cards no more, sir. Well, why we don't do business cards? I can just email this to you. One of the main purposes of a business card, is to, I was trying to find one. I got one in here somewhere. One of the main purpose of the business card is when I'm flipping through business cards and I see this business card, oh, Ariel, I haven't talked to Ariel in a long time. Let me give her a call. But if I don't have a business card with her name on it, it'll never come top of mind. You always want to stay top of mind with people. These are little inexpensive things. And old school, yeah, but those are the people you want to do business with. So I'm just telling you, make sure and understanding the books, different books that are business related. As we're looking in the 21st century, where are we going now? Steve Galloway wrote a book that you want to look at. The name is Steve Galloway. And he talks about what happened after 2020. And it's telling everybody what they should be doing with their business. So you want to check that out. Any other questions for me?
Auntie Dana, are there any more? Are there any comments or questions in our chat?
Yes, we did have a question about Damon Holland had talked about it, EIN number, and that is the employer identification number, and that's what you would get from the IRS. So that is, like, in my opinion, the social security number of your business.
Yes, that is important that you have that EIN number to start your business. That's the first thing you want to do. Also, Damon indicated, I think he did indicate about going to the bank and establishing your business checking account. Right now in South Carolina, I received some information from the Department of Commerce, and they said, in the event that we have to evacuate based upon any emergency, this went out to everybody who had a business and registered in the system. It said, in the event that we have to evacuate out of South Carolina or a certain area, you have the right to apply to come back in earlier, business owners. And so they said, if you are registered in the system with your LLC in good standing, it will take you less than 5 minutes to get this authority. I applied for it. It was less than 5 minutes. I have the authority. In the event of an emergency, we have to evacuate. Then I can present them with that document that I have that says that I'm authorized to come back in earlier. So that's what you're looking at when you look at the PPP loan on the funding that came out last year. It was a lot of people did not qualify for it because they didn't have good structures of EIN numbers, LLC paperwork, or any other license and certifications that were necessary. As you're moving forward now, this is the most crucial time in your life for everyone that's listening now, because we are seeing a perfect storm happen in Louisiana, that people will not have control of their lives. The working class people will not have control of their life for the next 2 to 3 months or even longer. Most of your wealthy earners, income earners, and business owners, we're not going to be concerned with that. All we're going to do is relocate somewhere else and keep on going. So you want to make sure that you're not in that condition. This is telling you, get prepared. Say what, it never happens. So what? It never happens, but you were prepared in the event that it did happen. So do what you can do to protect yourself, your family, business associates, and friends.
Amazing. Amazing. This has been so good. Mr. Lee, as we are coming to a close, we want to be able to know, how can people either get in contact with you or your company, know more about all the amazing things that are quiet right now, but will be public?
Well, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Damon and the team for inviting me to do this. It is an honor for me to share whenever I can share. You can go to my website, leehmoultrie.com. That's Lee H. Moultrie, which is MOULTRIE.com. You can Google my name for more information. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. I try not to spend too much time on social media because I'm doing too much other stuff. So between LinkedIn and my personal website, you can find me. And then we can have a conversation after that. But the main thing is, let's get some work done. Let's help each other grow. And any way I can be of assistance, anyone, hit me up, and it'll be my honor to do interview, discussion, partnership, anything that we can do to enhance the quality of life for individuals, ourselves, and other individuals. Let's do it of all ethnic background, all communities globally.
Awesome. Awesome. It truly has been our pleasure to be with you on tonight. This was a great part too. So we're gonna get the whole crew to say any last words, and then we will head on out. Make sure you share this broadcast. I'll first turn it over to Damon. Any last words?
I just appreciate the knowledge, appreciate the information. Definitely looking to pass it on, and also take it in myself and make sure I'm doing everything you talked about also. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Danielle?
Just want to say thank you, Mr. Lee, for all your information, your knowledge. Definitely a lot of gems, a lot of nuggets. to position us for success. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Auntie Dana.
Yes, ma'am. I want to let everybody know. Still keep with the comments. Anything that we did not answer in the broadcast, we will make sure we put either in the description or in the comments section. I'd like to take this time to thank Damon for introducing us to this wealth of knowledge. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing him again. Thank you to the Millennial Moguls, Ariel and Danielle, who always do an awesome job. I really appreciate the willingness to learn. And last but not least, my fellow boomer, Mr. Moultrie, sir, happy birthday, Godspeed, and thank you so much for your information.
Yes.
Thank you all for the opportunity.
Awesome. It's been our pleasure. Thank you so much, Mr. Lee. Truly a wealth of information. Truly grateful and thankful.
I'm sorry, Ariel. I forgot.
Oh no, you're good.
I apologize. We have Bugs and Bites LLC that is also part of the NexGen team. That is a moderator in the chat. Thank you, Bugs and Bites LLC, for moderating in the comment section.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us for part 2 of So You Want to Start a Business. We had an amazing time with Mr. Lee. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel for all amazing information on building generational wealth. Now you know. All right, y'all. Until next time, we're saying good night. Have a great evening and God bless you.
God bless you.
Night, everyone.